KB, owner and creator of Protect Your Energy. Welcome to Consciously Create Studios. It is an honor to have you. You are the third person we have interviewed, and I must say, Protect Your Energy is a household name. I would say it's a household name because in Atlanta, everybody's rocking the shirt. Everybody rock the shirt. Somebody gonna stop and be like, yo, Protect Your Energy, you gotta do it. When I wear that red one, everybody always saying something to me. So it's an honor to have you on the show. No doubt, no doubt. So before we get into this interview, I want to say how we met. I met you at our show. You had art shows booked for me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We came out there, we dialogue, connected.
Yeah.
From that moment on, we just been doing art shows and stuff.
Right.
With my shirts. So that's dope. You're definitely a pivotal person in the community that's helping people, you know what I'm saying, get their expressions out there. You yourself express yourself fully. So you only promote that in other people, and definitely props to that.
Appreciate it. It's what it's all about. Thank you.
No doubt. All right, so let's get into this thing. You're from Nashville, Tennessee, right?
Cashville, to be exact.
Cashville. I ain't never heard that name, Cashville.
Yeah,
Okay. So describe that like. Describe what was that like growing up in Nashville?
Growing up in Nashville.
Was you raised? You was born and raised?
I have an interesting story to that. So I was born in Nashville, born at Baptist Hospital, right down the street from Tennessee State University, Jefferson Street, very well known area, Fisk University. But when I was born, I moved here. So I lived here in Douglasville, Georgia. I went to Arbor Place Elementary School.
Wow.
I went to Eastside.
Wow.
Elementary.
Eastside Elementary. That's my elementary.
Yeah, I went there for kindergarten.
Wow.
Yeah, shout out to Miss T. Garden. That was my kindergarten teacher.
Wow. Oh, this is crazy.
Yeah, so I was here for a very long time as a child.
Yeah.
You know, lived with my grandparents that still live here in Douglasville, Georgia.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rodney and Audrey Hunter. And we did a lot of things. They were very artsy.
Yeah.
First of all, my grandmother, she's an entrepreneur, made clothing, a baker, worked for the big IRS building downtown, made clothes for her employees, catered the whole entire building. Yeah. So I wasn't too far from this creative stuff. It's always been there. So yeah, I was here. We did like summer camps. I remember attending the Boys and Girls Club out in Douglasville. I won a whole lot of pool championships there.
That's wild. Yo, this is a small world, for real.
Yeah, I was a part of the swim team here as a kid. We always stayed in like art shows, art festivals, like always travel to the water, things of that nature here. Yeah. Now, when I was a kid, I mean, it's a lot of details to this on why I left, but I'm gonna tap into it, but not a lot, you know. My mom had a lot going on. She was young when she had me, so that's why I lived with my grandparents. At some point of my growing up, I started to miss my mom. So I moved back to Nashville I want to say 5th and 6th grade. Okay. Because that's when I started to play ball. A lot of people don't know. Like I mean, Alright. So I played ball 5th grade on up until my 12th grade year, and I'll get there. So I was a hooper. You know, we had this little park down the street from me called the Little Park, where everybody in the hood played ball, rode bikes, or rocks, whatever, bike, yell, scream. You know. So yeah, I went to Hillwood High School for a little bit. That's in Nashville. I had a very good basketball reputation. So this other high school in Antioch wanted me to come and play there. And just so happened I was going through some things with my mom at that time. So I actually got, I don't want to say kicked out the house. I just made a conscious decision to leave. Because at this point, being that I am a lesbian female, it was frowned upon in Nashville. It wasn't cool to be out, be yourself, or entertain anything, that stuff. So for a long time, you know, who I really was hidden inside of me, you know. And when she found out, what she said she already knew, you know, this whole entire time. But when it really came out, she kind of like was just like, nah.
I didn't accept it.
Yeah. So some things happened. I ended up packing up my stuff. Like I want to say I'm like 14, 15 years old, packing up my stuff, going to the nearest payphone booth, calling my aunt, like, hey, this is what's happening, I need you to pick me up, you know. Just so happened that school was still looking for me to play ball where I'm going with my aunt anyway, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, going to a whole new school, with my aunt lived my other 5 other cousins and my 2 brothers. So now I'm in a household with 7 guys.
Woo.
Everybody was a sports athlete, basketball, football, to baseball.
So it's only gonna rub off on you.
Yes. So, and this was all my aunt. My aunt took care of all of us. Shout out to my aunt Robin. She's like queen, okay? Like she sacrificed her entire life for not only her kids, but her siblings' kids, including me and my other brothers, right? For various reasons. That's a whole nother story. But, so yeah. So I was playing ball, but mind you, I just got kicked out from my mom's crib, going through some psychological shit, you know, feeling like I'm just alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So one of my good friends, Sean Wade, is one of my best friends to this day. He's some of my brother's friends. Like, he played ball with my brothers and them. But he came to my aunt's crib one day and he was just like, damn, you look sad as fuck. Like, come with me, you know. And he just so happened to be a DJ, very well known, older than me, you know. He hung with college people, like just very ahead of me, you know what I mean? So he kind of like just took me under his wing, you know what I mean? And really helped me shape who I am, introduced me to music, to clothing, to just a whole lot of things that a lot of people don't get. The age I was, but the age he was, and has experienced so much more than me. He was just like, that's sprinkling so many gems on me, you know what I mean? So shout out to Sean. But so yeah, mind you, I'm living with my aunt. Me and my father don't have a relationship. He disowned me for the same reasons. So imagine carrying around all of that with you.
The way that's a burden, man.
Yeah.
Feel like being accepted by the people that birthed you.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so my whole entire, like, I really had dreams of going to the WNBA, like playing ball, like I love ball. I lived and breathed ball every single day. Every single day. But it's like, I didn't have that backing. I never could look out into the crowd and be like, oh, that's my mom, or oh, that's my dad. You know what I mean? My aunt can do it because she's working sun up to sundown to take care of the entire house. So she could only focus on that, the foundation feeding us, you know. So things started to get heavy for me. You know what I mean? Just also going through high school blues, figuring out yourself. You know what I mean?
Like, fit in, knowing where you at. It's
you know, but I really didn't have high school was some of the like best times in my life. Because once again, I went to school with all my brothers and cousins.
You went to high school in Nashville.
And the last school that I attended to play ball, right? So I had my brothers, my cousin, and I also had my homie Sean that was just like guiding me or whatever. So it was like actually fun. You know, but outside of it being fun, it's like I know what I'm going through. I know what I came from. Like half of these people don't even know what the hell's going on with me. You know? So with carrying all of that, going through what I was going through, I quit playing ball my 12th grade year. I was just like, everybody was like, oh, she waited to the 12th grade to quit ball. And then it was just like I won coming home. So I ended up doing the coming home ceremony. I had a dress on the whole time. Like, you know, you had to be there. That never happened. But it was like a big deal just for that. So it was like, she not playing ball, but she in the coming home. Like, you know. So I also, when I finished high school, I attended Nashville Tech for a short while for business communications. I don't know, like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Just doing something.
You know, I need to go somewhere, do something, you know, versus the streets was always an option. That was easy. You know, my dad was a kingpin, like, very big in Nashville. So was my mom.
Wow. So it was in that world.
You know?
Wow.
So I got introduced to some things while I was in college. You know, I dabbled here, you know, in heavy drugs. You know what I mean? And I did that for like maybe 2 or 3 years straight. Like, just easy money. I was very good at this. I have a very good business mindset, so that's why I learned all this entrepreneurship from that and applied it to this. And that's just real talk.
Yo, that's real.
That's real talk.
That's real.
You know, because it's already better than me. Like I just said, my mom and my dad, like, that's all they know.
You just had to actualize it. You had to find it.
Exactly. So, started doing that, but then I started to notice a lot of people around me were dying, getting robbed, robbed, getting shot, getting killed. One of my really good friends, and this is how I knew it was time for me to plan my exit from this. A place that we hung out, everybody has their little trap areas where they do their thing all day. You know what I mean? We had this certain place, and it was one night that I didn't go with him to this certain place. You know, I had my own stuff going on. And he was robbed, you know, shot, didn't die, you know, but left him blind and paralyzed. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when that happened, I was just like, man, this is like my good friend. You know what I mean? Like, this shit is just crazy. Like, it's time for me to go.
Yeah.
So I had a girl that I was dating at the time, low key, because mind you, you couldn't be out. And she was here in Atlanta going to AIU for fashion design and marketing. I've always been known for dressing and looking nice in school. That was just
so
my
fashion
thing.
was already on.
You know what I mean? From my mom to my dad, they're very heavy inspiration in that. Like my dad spray painted like D-boy like stuff. My mom with her big chains, her, you know what I mean? Just 90s and 80s shit. Like they killed that shit. Yeah. So I was heavily inspired by that. And I said that to say, damn, I got sidetracked.
You good.
So yeah, I was planning my exit from that. When he got hit, girl was here in Atlanta. She was just like, you should come to Atlanta and go to school for fashion design. Like, get away, you know? And I was just like, I was already feeling that. Like, I'm paying attention to everything that's going on around me consciously. Yeah. Not even on no conscious stuff. Just like,
aware.
See like, what's happening.
No, you take note of it. You know what's going on.
It's time to go. So I made my exit. I'm here. I started going to AIU. Met a lot of other people that I'm still cool with to this day. When I went to AIU, I started making jewelry. As you know, the earrings that I made for like all these celebrities, from Nicki Minaj to Amber Rose to Killer Mike. You know, to Lisa Ray. I can go on. There's so many people I can't even remember. So that's how the jewelry came about. You know, and that started from one of my ex-girlfriends. She was making jewelry, but I wanted to take what she was doing to a whole nother level. Yeah. And it started with the Bar Marley pendants, you know, the little beaded with the wood thing.
The Ankh?
Well, something like that. And we also had the little square piece that just had the beads on it.
And the Rasta colors with Bar Marley face on it?
Yeah. And I wanted to make that pendant. That's how they came about. Some hot shit. Yeah, I'm about to make that necklace and earrings. So I had called my grandmother. She was just like, you need X, Y, Z. Yeah. Boom. So I did that for like 13 years.
Wow.
Making jewelry by hand.
Yeah.
You know, and then transitioned into me working a corporate job.
Whoa, okay. So you went from, so let's backtrack. Let's gather the info. Yeah. So Douglasville, you started in Douglasville, which is crazy because when we moved here, me and my brothers lived in Douglasville since I was 8. Douglasville's home. Across the tracks. Yup, our Stewart Middle School, that's where we at. So that's crazy that you say Douglasville is where you came from. Boys and Girls Club, that was our stomping ground. Yeah. So Douglasville, you went to Nashville. In Nashville for a little bit. Would you say that Nashville was the place where you went through like your black hole? You went through the darkness to really find out where you was at, where you are, who you are. Yeah. So from Nashville, you went from there, you came back to Atlanta. And this is where you're actually now starting to, would you say, be more fully acquainted with who you are with the jewelry, or did it not kind of get there? Did you not get there yet?
You mean when I moved there as a baby? Yeah. And then I moved back to Nashville? Is that what you're saying?
When you came back to Atlanta.
Oh,
when you said that you was ready to go, you was older, you came back to Atlanta.
Oh,
this is where you was fully acquainted with who you are.
Yeah, because even visiting here for so many years before I moved here, I always had a connection with Atlanta. I knew I was supposed to be here because in Nashville, I don't see me there. Yeah. I don't see you there. I don't see people doing things like this. I don't see us as executives or running our own business or driving these fancy cars or just leaders in the community. I didn't see that. So I wanted that. I wanted more of that. You know what I mean? Like everybody here driving BMWs like they free or something. Like
I feel that. That's real.
Yeah.
That's real. Okay. So my next question. Now you're in Atlanta. When did it come to you to write that book? Because you wrote a book. That's your first book, right?
Yeah.
What's the title of it?
Decline.
What inspired you to create that?
Oh man. I was working corporate America. Okay. To transitioning from, I was making jewelry and working for a very long time. People didn't know that. But it kind of like the corporate side took over my creative side for a long time because it's so pressing, from calls to managing so many different personalities and hitting these quotas and
to burn you out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So after doing that, I was at AT&T for like 9 years. Again, 9 years of my life.
Yeah.
And I'm an MVP seller there.
Yeah.
Like, my name would ring bells there. Like, you know, we got it in.
Yeah.
The people that I was there with, like, they're some real hustlers. Like, I'm talking about 6-figure checks every month. Okay?
Lit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So something like that is kind of like hard to give up too. But I'll get into that as well. But just going through all of that, like, and I always knew working there, like when I had to get on these calls and stuff, I would always get anxiety, just instantly, like just the pressure of it. Like it was literally like breaking down my health, and I knew that shit, you know. So over time, I think it just started to catch up with me. I kept getting these promotions. I kept getting moved around to different areas, and at my end stage, I had lost my great grandmother during this time period. So I was dealing with that, dealing with being somewhere where I didn't want to be, managing some people I didn't want to manage. And one day I just kind of like had like this mini stroke at work.
Wow.
That's how bad it had gotten.
Wow. You're back in Atlanta, right?
Yeah. I'm working with this corporate company. I don't want to name them, but yeah. So on top of that, there was this guy at the job where I didn't want to be, at this location where I didn't want to be, right? And I don't know what it was about him, but I was trying everything in my power to fire his ass. He had to go, okay?
Yeah.
But it was also something about him that was very connecting too, you know? And I think he was picking up on things that were going on with me and I didn't even know. Like he's watching me, you know what I mean? And just every day he would just keep coming at me with these different things. Like, this is what I'm eating. I'm eating spirulina. I'm eating sea moss. You know, these are the herbs that I'm taking for X, Y, and Z. These are the fruits that I'm eating. He introduced me to one of Dr. Sabi's son. I didn't even know it was his son at the time. And I'm buying products from them. KT the art degree. I think that's what he goes by. You know what I'm talking about?
KT the arts degree?
Yeah. So
wow, that's crazy.
Right. So he would come up to my job, bring me herbs and stuff. Mind you, I don't know a lot about this stuff and shit. You know, he's introducing this to me slowly but surely, you know. And then we got cool enough to where the point he was like, I'm gonna do a reading on you. Okay. David never knew anything about this shit. I've been taught that this is some devil shit. Like,
right.
To add into this. Like,
so you already got a bias towards it,
Yes, so I'm just like, like, I can't call and talk to my grandmother and my mom about this because they don't know anything about it. And they gonna say,
you crazy.
Okay. So I do it. Just like it. But I'm going through so much, what can this hurt? You know, like, and with that first reading, it kept talking about energy. It kept bringing up my childhood. Kept bringing up all the things that I went through in the past that I'm carrying around with me on top of this job, on top of my personal stuff, and it's just draining me. You know, that whole reading was just about energy. So I was like, I started thinking, it was a song that I like about Wu-Tang, Protect Your Neck. You know, and just playing back that reading that I had, I was like, protect your energy.
Protect your energy.
I gotta start protecting my energy
because
it's just me. It's like, I'm letting all these other things around me affect me, but I don't have no control of me.
That's a bar. Yes.
Yeah. So with all of that and just talking to him, his name is Prana. That's my mentor. Like, he's responsible for all this new energy.
Shout out
to Prana. And here we are. Like, the book came. The book is just about everything that I've been through from my childhood. Talks about my parents, what I went through with that. I wrote a letter to my father in there. Things that I went through in my job, things I just went through on my spiritual journey to get to where I am now. And I just wrote it so I could inspire and help other people who may run into these roadblocks of being gay, being not heard, being not seen, overtalked, underdogged. I did that for them.
That's real. That's real. Like, definitely for the people that feel different, feel like they don't fit in society, feel like aliens.
Straight
like,
outcast.
Outcast, man, that's real. So you went from being in that place at AT&T, being in that dark place, you got through reading. So that was like your first spiritual experience, you would say. Wow. So that pointed you in the direction of energy.
Yeah, and that wasn't my only one. You know, I had a whole Reiki session. I had all these shamans, like just cleansing me. I needed work.
Yeah.
I needed work, and they went deep.
Wow.
And that shit saved my life. And I'm gonna tell you something else. When I had that mini stroke, I thought it had something going on with my heart because I always felt it over here. You know what I mean? And with my head. But when I went to see Prana, and I want to say Kennedy, which was his mentor, so I got to see his high priest as well, and they were both working on me. That was like, ain't nothing wrong with you. You ain't have no stroke.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to go to the doctor and let them prescribe you nothing. We finna fix you right now.
Wow.
And they fixed me. And that day, like, I want to say maybe a month later, I left that job. I started working for myself. Rest is history.
You got the keys.
Yeah.
The keys was with you the entire time. Wow. That lets you know that, sickness and disease is only our imagination.
Yeah.
We put the weights on ourselves.
Yeah.
That is clear as day, yo. Yo, that's inspiring. That's inspiring, KD, what I tell you.
Yeah.
So, my next question will be, so, from that book came Protect Your Energy. So, what was the most challenging phase for you when starting Protect Your Energy, the brand itself? Did it start with just shirts, or was it more so motivating and inspiring?
You know what? When I first started Protect Your Energy, it was just the message. It was more for me than anybody else at first. It was for me because it was something that I had not been doing my whole entire life. And it was self-sabotage.
Self-sabotage.
You know, so it was really me meditating on that, saying it to myself, listening to the things that Prana gave me, the tools, different things to help me heal in certain areas that were, you know,
blocked.
Draining me, blocked. And practicing it, it became my mantra. You know, like I needed to wear it, I needed to see it. You know, I needed to have that friendly reminder to myself every single day. So when I seen what it did for me, now it's time for me to help other people. I always prayed and meditated on my purpose. What am I here for? We're all here for something. You may think you know what it is, but you don't. You really don't. You might spend your whole entire life in a job that you think is your passion, your purpose, and it's not.
Facts. It's that money you think is the passion and the purpose. It's not.
So, like I said, once I know what it did for me, I was like, this is an assignment on me. This is a calling on my life at this point. I really didn't have to make a dime for it because I know how powerful just the words are. Just saying it.
That's a fact.
You know, so people start to latch onto it. Like, I needed to see that. Thank you.
That's big facts because it reminds me of, I don't know if you're familiar with the Bible, ancient Bible stories, where, not really, well, I'll just give you a little brief. In the Bible, the children of Israel, when they came out of slavery, they were going into the promised land. And Moses, in order for the people to remain disciplined, they needed a reminder. So they would put these things on their clothes called fringes on the four corners so that when everybody looks at it, oh snap, God's law, let me not eat this food. Oh snap, God's law, let me protect myself.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the same thing, because like you said, it's a reminder for you. So whenever I go out and wear the shirt, Protect Your Energy, everybody's saying something. So everybody's needing these reminders to be the best version of themselves by protecting their energy.
Yes.
So your work that you're doing in this earth is like that of Moses. I just want you to know. That's heavy, yo. You got a lot on your shoulders, you know. So like definitely.
But it's a pleasure though. Like I want to create a global shift, not just for me. When you wearing the shirt, you shifting. We all shifting.
We all shifting. Exactly. And this made me think that this is why you get into trouble with social media stuff. You know, the enemy gonna block you. The enemy gonna do everything they can because they see the work being done.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yes, It's spiritual warfare. That's what it is.
Exactly.
You know.
So that leads my next question: How does one, in your opinion, how does one protect their energy in this digital age? We're not in Moses' day no more. We're in a whole nother time where everything's fast paced.
Yeah.
So yeah, how does one protect their energy in this digital age?
That's interesting because everything is so digital. That's where we are. I didn't say that's where we headed.
It's here. Like, we are here.
Yes, we are here. And I think the most important thing with this digital age is if you're going to be completely digital, just make sure you're feeding yourself the right digital energy, tap out of it, because it's toxic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Protect yourself from it, because it's downloads. You don't know that most of the stuff you're looking at on here
Exactly.
is the downloads that's interrupting your energy, interrupting your flow, making you second guess yourself, you know?
That's real.
So tap out of it sometimes.
So always being able to have that outlet to unplug.
Yeah.
Unplug.
Yeah, so that's why I follow people like you, people like Taryn, people like Quentin, people like just my friends who are out here doing the work, putting in the work.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of energy you want to feed on, not all this other stuff that don't even matter.
That's real. That's so real. That's interesting. So let's jump into the business field with shirts. You know, clothing brands expanding. Like I said, everybody's got it on now in Atlanta. I haven't went to other states. I'm sure other people in other states got it on too. So what would you say for those that starting a clothing brand company? How was your success with printing on demand or having the inventory?
It really depends on where you are. You know, for me, like transitioning from jewelry to t-shirts, I kind of like already had, because I still made clothing when I did jewelry, just the jewelry just overshadowed it. Like you really didn't know, you know? But once again, it's really where you are. I recommend printing on demand because it don't cost you nothing. You ain't lifted a finger for it. You just loaded your artwork up to this site. They gonna put it on your mug, on your t-shirt, whatever you want. They gonna get their little cut. You have to give your, they gonna pay for, the customer gonna pay for the shipping. And you just make profit. You didn't have to house no product, no shirt. You didn't go to the post office. Like, that's what I recommend for people who just getting into it. Once you grow from there and you do right with your profit, you invest in your own equipment. You cut the middleman out. You start doing it for yourself and you keep all the money.
That's the next level of protecting your energy on an entrepreneur level right there, yo.
Yes.
That's fire. So once you realized that, how challenging was it to make your first sale on the shirts, on the clothes?
Shirts.
How challenging was that?
You know what? I can't even remember, like, to be honest with you, when I made my first sale, but I don't think it was hard. Because once again, the message speaks for itself. People gravitate to it. Protect your energy. Let me get to it. Just because of what you just did for me just right now.
Exactly. That's value right there. That is impact, yo. Like, that right there in itself shows you that, it ain't about flashy. It's not about fancy. It's about the message.
Yeah.
How are you impacting people?
Yes.
That's it, man, because your brand is a spiritual brand. Spiritual things are unseen. So it lets you know that everything,
that part,
the unseen part is the only thing that matters.
Yes. And
when somebody can look at the shirt and already be like, I gotta have it.
Yeah.
You're doing something right. And
I used to always, like, even with meditating for meditation, purpose, vision, I would always say, with whatever this is, I'm not looking for profit. I'm looking on how I can change somebody's life and how this person's life can change somebody else's life.
Domino effect.
Because that's how it happened for me. That's how I'm paid. I'm paid in full. I'm fulfilled. I feel great.
Yes, indeed.
Like, I feel like I'm about to get emotional right now because this is how passionate I am about this. Yeah. Like, and I remember talking to the person that created this logo, as simple as it is. And I was like, man, I think I'm ready to do something different. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. And shout out, she was like, no, I ain't touching it. It's what it's supposed to be. It ain't even about the design. It's the message. I ain't touching it.
You can't touch that. It's simple as it is. Simple is more. Less is always more.
Yes, and to this day, I try reaching out to her. She'll give me any kind of like excuse to not touch it. So that's some powerful stuff right there.
It is.
You know what I mean?
It is. Because people gonna remember that. Pi, P-Y-E, take your energy. That's probably like the closest change you can make, P-Y-E.
Yeah.
Other than that, like it's set. It's really set.
Yeah.
So the next question, because you mentioned meditation. So how do you meditate, or what is the proper way that one can meditate? You know, what advice can you give, and how do you do it?
So there's no when I first got into meditating, because I was trying to do everything right of my sensei.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm very
Right.
in the beginning. But as I started to find my own flow because you're gonna find your own. Like there's no right or wrong way to do this. Meditating can be sitting on your balcony, getting some sun when the sun comes out, sitting with God, walking barefoot in the forest, sitting in your home in just complete silence, maybe just writing, or maybe playing some like soft or high frequency or vibrational music. You know, it's really wherever you find peace. Like some people can't meditate and just be quiet because everything is popping up.
Yeah.
Some people can't do that.
Yeah.
So you have to find what works for you.
That's definitely how you can protect
But
your energy.
I definitely recommend it because it was something introduced to my life. And with everything that I was going through from different aspects of my life, from my job to my personal life, breath work saved me. Getting in control of that. Hearing myself breathe. Like getting control of me. So I highly recommend it. Changed my life.
Most definitely. Because that make it seem like that, like I said, everything self-sabotage. Things that we create our own self. And it's simple things like remembering, breathing.
Yes.
Remembering to breathe. Less is more.
Yeah.
That's why that logo don't need to change. That's a big fact.
I mean, think about it when somebody's having like a panic attack or an anxiety attack. What they tell you?
Breathe. Breathe and give them space too. Yeah.
So really, when you're having those attacks, those anxiety attacks, or those feelings of just, it's gonna help you just breathe. Like feel the air, let it touch you, like you're okay. It's just you against you, baby. Stay with me.
That's a fact. So my next question would be for entrepreneurs, business owners. You know, would you recommend that should all business owners have some type of spiritual work to work out, organize their business?
Absolutely. Because your energy is your currency. You cannot run a business being a shitty person. Energy is all over the place on that low vibrational BS. Like, your business ain't gonna thrive. You know, people buy from you, from your energy. Hey, how you doing? What's up? Like, this is da-da-da-da-da. They ready to buy from you. You're giving them something. You're feeding them. You're feeding their soul. If you're just like, how can I help you? Oh, okay, I'm gonna come back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back and check you out.
Yeah.
You know, so yes, get your energy right, fix yourself, do the healing work, go through your past stuff so that you can thrive with your business. Yeah, you gotta be at a certain frequency.
That's a fact. Energy is your currency. So you already answered this, but I'm gonna ask you it anyway. So what do you think separates you from the rest of the clothing brand companies out here?
What separates it? The first thing I want to say, shout out to everybody who is just trying to be an entrepreneur. It ain't easy, and it ain't for the weak. No matter what you're doing. I don't care if you making spiritual camps.
Yeah. That's a fact.
You know, but I think what separates Protect Your Energy from everybody else is the message alone. Okay? Because every time you see this, I don't care what you're going through, what kind of day you're having. When you see this, something clicks. Oh, it's me. It ain't you, it's me. Exactly. Thank you for that. Yeah. Thank you for wearing that shirt. Thank you for reminding me of that. Like, I really needed to see that. You know, so it's the impact. It's what people get from it, what they take from it, how it impacts their life. That's what separates Protect Your Energy from other brands. That's
huge. For somebody to look at a product, a material possession and be like, self-reflect.
Yeah.
Let me self-reflect. That's powerful.
Yeah, and another thing with Protect Your Energy, I do the chakra work on my clothes, especially those tie-dye. because they're shocking colors. And you can ask anybody who wears a tie-dye tee, when you put that thing on, it's gonna light you up. You're gonna get just this sense of joy.
That's
the
real.
colors alone.
Yeah.
Colors are energy.
Yeah, they're alive. Yeah. That's real.
So that's another key element.
That's key. So you definitely leave an impact on your audience, customers, new customers, people that's been there forever. You impacting them every day because I see it when I rock the shirt. I have a red one. You gave me that red one.
Yes.
I rock it faithfully. Basketball court. I rock it everywhere. Folks always being like, yo, that's real. You know, so the impact is there. So last and final question would be, what are the long-term goals that you have to protect your energy? Are you looking to expand to different states? You know, keep it in Atlanta? What's expected for the future?
So for the future, you want to have a lot of just energy stores. You're going to see more energy cons in your different cities, different states, different countries, where we're coming in, showing you how to protect your energy, giving you the tools to do so. Working with some of the people who are out doing the work that are going to teach you as well. All right. Like I told you, it's a global shift.
Yeah.
It's a global
Big
shift.
facts, yeah.
You know, this is everlasting.
Yeah.
Even when I'm gone, the shit is still gonna be lingering.
Yeah.
So it ain't no next few years, next few months. It's forever. Forever. You're gonna see this forever. Even through your kids.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, and it's and I say that because you gotta think about it. I have people in martial arts wearing Protect Your Energy, a rash guard. Do you know how impactful that is? Just you're out skating.
Right.
You're out skating.
Yeah.
Wearing the shirt, spraying the message. You know, the streets. The thuggest person in the streets.
Exactly, in the club.
Wearing a shirt, because you know why? They still need to protect their energy too, no matter what it is.
Thanks.
So wherever you are, you need to protect your energy. So that's why I said it's everlasting. It ain't gonna never stop. It is no plan.
Exactly.
This is the plan.
Yeah. Big facts. Inspiring. Yo, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
Yo, protecting energy it will be here forever. Energy, that name, that word itself, people are realizing and understanding in this mass awakening.
Yes.
KD, continue to do the work, continue to inspire, continue to impact.
Yes.
Yo.
For sure.
Once
Of
again,
course.
no doubt. Once again, thank you for coming to Conscious Create Studios. No doubt. Gotta have you again. We got so much to talk about. We can even break this down some more. But yeah, people, this is KD, owner, creator, protect your energy, and she continuously be here to inspire.
Peace. Thank you so much. Thank you.